All right, folks, we're back. Thank you for sitting patiently through those ads, but we are finally ready to go. Lobby's up, just waiting on the players, and we'll get into this as soon as everyone else is ready to go.
Ready to go. Hi. Yum.
All right, so this, I actually am just going to say, I'm a little bit sad. This has almost felt like it's gone by too fast. Even if we give like another hour for this best of 5, it's still a very short cast, objectively speaking, but that's okay. Pretty hype matches, really quick finals, but I'm hoping that this isn't going to be a 3-0. I'm going to be very sad if that's the case. Because both INnoVation has really good TvT. We know this from watching INnoVation over time. But aLive is the player who's not in the spotlight as often and does have good TvT. If you've been watching a lot of the stuff we've been casting with him, I think you know going into this he has a decent shot against INnoVation.
I think he has a very good shot against INnoVation. Like,
yeah, actually,
I think it's INnoVation going
that.
up against aLive. Yeah. But these two other people who still don't quite realize how good aLive is. I really have to emphasize that. It might be a best of 5 with all 5 games played, but that doesn't mean that still can't possibly be under an hour because some TvTs are ending quite early.
Yeah, also, quick, I guess, sort of thank you. Burdock sends a really long message saying TLDR, he's glad that these are up here and not blocking anything. But also says he remembers tuning into a cast and everything was covered. We don't really cover anything with donation markers or noises or... Like, our stream's always been very minimalistic, so I'm not sure if you're referring to ours or somebody else's, because if you're referring to ours, then it definitely wasn't ours.
Yeah, I don't think so.
At any rate, thank you for the compliment, though, and I'm glad to see that you enjoy it, because yes, I also think it looks quite nice up there in the top right. Nice, clean, and out of the way. But we are getting into game number 1 for the finals. A lot of money on the line for these grand finals, actually. More on that in a moment. Spotting to the top right side of the map, he is the Red Terran player, aLive.
The bottom left is the blue Terran. He is INnoVation.
Who's that just subbed on in? Thank you so much to Rocket. Or no, what is that? Rocklet's TV. He's got TV in his name. Might be another broadcaster. Shoutouts to you, kind fella. But $700 is the prize pool for the Olimoleague monthly finals. We already talked about 3rd and 4th place finished with $75 each. So that's Hero and Billowy already out, but at least got some cash from this. 1st and 2nd place, though. 1st place worth $350 and 2nd place worth $200. So nobody today at this point, like for this series, is walking away with less than $200.
Pretty nice cash.
Yeah,
for losing.
Well, yeah, that. But I am still just enamored and impressed that the Olimoleague has the support to make this happen. You know, this is not a corporately funded tournament where you've got some big organization behind it. It's the fans, and it's cool knowing that it's the fans every week continuing to throw in those contributions and show like, hey, we want to see this StarCraft, this specific bit of StarCraft.
It's pretty cool, and of course, as people have already been talking about, the replay packs are probably the coolest, especially now that we have such heavy-hitting names that everyone is super impressed with. Obviously, aLive has been in almost every single Olimoleague from like almost, I would say, day 1, but it's our familiarity with him that kind of takes away from the fact that he is actually one of the best Terrans right now. But people are still impressed more by INnoVation.
Yeah, it's actually really, really easy to underappreciate aLive, because it's not just that we see him all the time in the Olimoleagues, but we see him all the time everywhere else. Corsair Cups, any sort of North American events. He plays in everything. So he also loses poorly to some really stupid things that are out of his control, and I don't know, I think it definitely shifts and influences the point of view on him. INnoVation, by the way, getting away with 2 worker kills right off the bat is not too bad at all.
Yeah. Now he did open up 1 base, and if he was opening, you know, in a very aggressive Double Reaper Hellion, then that actually would have been a mistake to just go for the SEVs, but he wasn't. He got the Cyclone, and he's of course more the build is more catered to getting to this Banshee than it is doing mid-game damage, and the Banshee may be useful.
Actually, this will be really interesting, because if you guys have been watching a lot of our INnoVation games, Banshees or whatever. Like, we expect Banshees to the point where people are starting to blind counter them. But INnoVation's also been mixing it up by throwing in not just 1, but 2 Ravens. But that usually is if he's not going the direction of Banshees. So I'm curious to see if he'll still invest in more than 1. You're going to almost always have 1 now just because the auto turret harass game is so insane. It's not... Ravens used to just be detection. That auto turret, give him a serious upgrade.
Yeah. Auto turret's too good not to get. Ravens meant. Which are basically auto turrets.
Same thing. Same difference.
Same. The Banshee, it still provides...
Same, but different.
It provides that a little bit of scouting, the potential to help out if your, like, you know, army isn't as impressive and they're actually attacking you. Like, it's actually, for me, still kind of a safety thing to get. Like, it's a safety blanket. And sometimes it does get a lot of kills still. So
this is
happening here. And it's
6.
aLive, so it's...
Yeah, the aLive turret's always off to the wayside of the mineral lines. It's supposed to catch units coming in, but while this goes on, he might get a kill.
Oh, whoa,
on the
that's
command
not
center.
supposed to happen. That was a second away, and he wants to finish it, but now he's got to repair it.
Oh, that's dangerous.
He brings SCVs to pull in, but okay, the repair does start.
That was turret's out of range. Tank is up. This is still dangerous.
It's still really dangerous.
Oh god, yeah.
Oh, thank God, not lock on.
Oh my god, he's gonna save it. INnoVation, I'm blown away the fact that he saved it, but he took so many worker losses on the other side of the map too. So it's not like this was out with repercussions, right? Like, the command center not getting canceled is the difference of INnoVation still being in this game or not. Because even if INnoVation got these worker kills, but he lost his command center, he would be so behind.
Yes,
but now,
that is absolutely true.
Now I'm really worried because aLive's coming across the map with the counter, and he's bringing a siege tank with him. aLive...
You're confusing the names.
INnoVation. Sorry.
It's so confusing.
INnoVation's coming across the map with a siege tank. I mean, aLive has a siege tank too. Excuse me, pardon me. But the point of this still stands where it's 1 siege tank for aLive that's going to get picked off by that Banshee, if not auto turrets.
He's starting down the tank. It's going to try and be mass repair, but now the tank helped out, and that's aLive tank. Bye-bye. And that is also game.
Yeah, my bad on the name confusion, fam. INnoVation will take the game. And again, like that command center, I was watching its health. That was in the 1, like not only was it double digits of health, but it had 1. So it's like 19, 18, 17, 22, 19. Like that repair game was so sick and so barely on point.
Yeah, that was clutch. And actually, even if he had lost the command center, I still wonder if he could have done the exact same thing and pushed and won the game still, because his army supply was really very good.
So I guess there's a chance of that, right? Like, because if the command center dies, it puts you in 2 different mentalities. One is either, okay, I have to go, or I have to turtle up and recover. So yeah. I don't know which INnoVation would have fallen into if that was the case. But as we saw, the attack was good. And at the same time, if aLive had not dedicated both of his Cyclones, but it actually brought them back home in a medevac, that also would have been a very... Like, there's a lot of what-ifs for that very one pivotal moment in the game.
Yeah. Yep. Made it very exciting. We're on to the next map, Overgrowth. Invasion. Accept it. Oh, I actually brought this up, right? During downtime, I wanted to talk about the movie that I watched in the airplane when we got from France.
What movie?
Okay, I probably should have looked up the name before.
Wow, you came prepared for this story.
I know, right? I had it in my mind when I thought about it initially, and then I forgot it. It's the new anime movie that everyone's talking about, you know?
Oh,
like,
Your Name?
Yeah.
Oh, I really want to see that. I haven't got to see it yet.
Yeah. I took a chance on the foreign movies, because usually they're really lame, even though
Was
I
it
like
as good as
movies.
everyone's saying it is?
I don't like Spirited Away, so I think it was better than Spirited Away, which is what it beat in the box office. I don't know if it's the most fantastic anime movie ever made, though. Like...
Well, so
they hit you in the
premise...
feels. It had surprises. It was really well done. But was it the most bestest movie ever? No.
That's so. Just to make sure I'm right about it. That's the one where like the guy and the girl are like on different sides of the country and they swap bodies or something.
Correct. But it's so much more than that, because I thought it was just going to be a body swap anime. But
as you say,
you should watch it because the twist is actually very. I didn't expect these feels.
Like, the anime Freaky Friday doesn't sound super appealing, but I've heard so many things about what you've just described where there are, like, extra elements to it, so maybe...
Yeah, there's twist on twists, so that's not even, like, a spoiler. There's just... It's a very complicated movie.
Well,
That's really
I am absolutely going to be avoiding Twitch chat for the next 10 minutes. I'm sure somebody's going to try and ruin it for me. Anyways, game number 2 kicking off, ladies and gentlemen, for the Olimoleague Finals. Spawning the bottom left side of the map, it's going to be the red Terran player, aLive.
In the top right is the blue Terran. He is INnoVation.
Okay, so INnoVation kicked a lot of butt that last game. But again, I really want to point out there is some alternate universe out there that is not too distant from our own where aLive actually won that game, I feel.
Yes, exactly. There's definitely a chance for him to kill the command center and a chance for him to get out with a medevac. Both would, give him an absolute lead in that game, but didn't happen. So aLive is going to match INnoVation's INnoVation one basing again. And it wasn't the fact that he expanded that made it a problem. It was his aLive turret and his committal on the command center. It really was, because I think if the aLive turret if it was a regular turret, he loses 5 SCVs, but more importantly, doesn't have to worry about trying to micro back at home. I think you have to, right?
That's maybe true. To distinguish for those who don't know what we're referring to, by the way, an aLive turret is just most people, they put a missile turret in the mineral lines. It's either in the dead center or it's close to the dead center, but it's off to the side a little bit. aLive always puts his a little bit further off to the extremes, leaving half of his mineral line usually exposed and not even covered. And that was about what happened that last game.
Yeah. The idea sounds so good. You catch the units while they're on their way, so they never even try in the mineral line, but it very rarely works. Okay, we've been casting aLive from the get-go because he was one of the Koreans even back when there wasn't a lot of weeklies that was still trying to participate, and he's always done this, and I swear 90% of the time it doesn't do what it's supposed to. So I'm just one thing I'll always judge aLive for.
There are some maps though, like Vani and a couple others, where I actually prefer the way aLive does his turrets, but more often than not they do look silly, and that's what's earned them the aptly nicknamed aLive turrets.
Yeah. I think we're still the only ones that really use that, though, despite them being so common in his play.
Well, the attack that's going to be hitting is going to be a little bit rough to hold, maybe initially, but I mean, with a wall off, you'll have plenty of time for that Banshee to come out and save everything. In fact, actually, the Widowmine's going to make sure one of the Silings gets picked off real quick. But Banshee, once again, it's so predictable and so expected in this matchup. A lot of the times we've been seeing more games where both players open with Ravens, for example. So aLive's going to have the Raven out, and the auto turret alone can deal with the Banshee if necessary. Not to mention, it will just be detection that's going to be required to deal with the Banshee.
Yeah. It's kind of funny how these two guys played, because I would say that the Reaper Hellion opener is kind of, it's phasing out as Cyclones become such a good defense, or really, either a Cyclone or a Widowmine that gets a good shot is such a good defense against it. And Banshees are also being phased out. So they both did things that are kind of, I think, phasing out a bit. And both getting a very even game because of it, too, I think.
In terms of what the new Cyclone's capable of, do you like it more or less than what the old Cyclone was for specifically TvT?
I like the position it is in right now more because the Raven replaced its anti-air position, and I think the Raven's a more fun unit. So it's a whole mess of things, I guess. That's the position I like.
I just like it because of the health more than anything else, to be honest with you. Even if it's weak lock-on damage is something we make fun of, the fact is it can take hits now.
The fact that it's mostly the anti-ground, catch-all.
Ooh! Last shot, nice.
Nice. And the Raven has taken the responsibility of the true catch-all, and I like that dynamic better. And sometimes I hate Ravens because auto turrets are bullshit, but that's, whatever.
I'm giving you hate for not liking Miyazaki, man. Damn.
I'm so used to it. It's like, if I want people to hate me or have some reason to really just start, yelling at me, I say I hate Miyazaki, I hate Bacon, I don't like Marine King.
I thought you liked Miyazaki, though. I thought we had a discussion about something like this, or maybe it was just one of his things.
No, I really like Satoshi Kon.
Oh, Satoshi Kon, that's what, excuse me, my bad, yeah.
Yeah, Miyazaki, yeah. I've only ever liked one or two Miyazaki movies. Like, I recognize that they're all good movies, but I've never bought into his... I think he's such a tryhard.
Satoshi Kon was Paprika and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I really think that Miyazaki movies try so hard to be kind of like out there and feel good, and I don't get the same concrete emotional response that everyone else seems to get. So
I mean, I love Spirited Away, so yeah, I'm on the opposite side of that.
I liked Porco Rosso, but I actually thought that the one about the fish. Do you remember what the one?
Oh, I haven't seen it. But I don't know if
I thought it
about
was
Pollo or something. Or
yeah, I thought that movie was legitimately a bad movie. Like not just I see why people like it. I thought it was actually a terrible movie, but oh no, sucks to the Raven.
Nice Widow Mine hit. I was gonna say, the only studio I know is Trigger because I'm a fan of like really shitty anime, I guess. But yeah, I don't really know the other ones unless we're having like a conversation about it. Shout out to anyone else who's got bad tastes in Kill la Kill and Space Patrol Luluco and such. Tanks are very nicely positioned to keep that auto turret from doing much. Those things can seriously run rampant if you don't take care of them fast enough. I do want to point out though, INnoVation didn't go for a couple of Ravens. Something he's been a little bit more accustomed to. Or excuse me, he did. That's right. This one's down here at the bottom left. Never mind, then I take that back. Because that's 400 gas he invests in the early game. It's pretty expensive, and it takes away from certainly your medevacs above anything else.
Yeah, it does. And if you, it's all about balancing what the gas does go into when you get 2 Ravens. Because maybe you can get medevacs or liberators, but then you're delaying either +1 or stim or tanks. So something has to be delayed. But usually 2 Ravens is worth it because 4 auto turrets plus, like, that breaks siege lines or holds siege lines or doubles down on harassment. They're super useful.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, the attack from aLive is starting to move out. He did keep both of his Ravens alive. INnoVation lost one, and he's moving out with a drop. I mean, this drop might be great because on one hand, it'll catch aLive without any defenses at home, but on the other, it takes away a large portion of INnoVation's defenses.
Yeah, that's quite scary, actually.
All things considered about the auto turrets, I mean, there's about 4 auto turrets in one Raven and about 2 in the other. So 6 auto turrets versus these tanks, I think actually kill the tanks. That being said, though, the tanks otherwise are defensively positioned very nicely. And that Reaper was going to space.
Oh, I didn't see that part, but that grenade hit like a ton of Marines. It was quite nice.
Yeah, it did. Here comes that double drop to the natural base. So a lot of SCVs, but more importantly, a lot of depots are here. Oh, God.
What? I've never seen so many depots in a natural. It's like, you know what? I'm not going to put my main base to have this perfect SimCity. Depots.
Yeah, and that's going to severely supply block aLive. Meanwhile, a position sets up here to siege up some of the base, and it looks like some of the armies are also being routed back home to deal with this. He doesn't want to lose the command center, but he's already lost a lot of the depots.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. I can't believe how many depots are back here. There was one that was even double depot, and that would have been nice to snipe. Kills all the SCVs, holds the rest of the map with 4 tanks.
And he got broke. I mean, aLive plays really good TvT, but these first 2 games have not been convincing of that. And INnoVation seriously just dominating this. He's up in workers by a large margin. I think most importantly, his tank count is 5-2. Not to mention all these Marines.
aLive has 1 shot to have a good engagement.
No, he doesn't, because he doesn't have combat shields.
Oh, just kidding then. He has no shots.
INnoVation's combat shields are going to be such a game winner for him.
Okay, well, turning into a base trade would make it a little more interesting. But INnoVation saw the medevacs, and that's game.
GG. INnoVation 2-0 to start off the finals is certainly a spot he wants to be in. But I do want to remind you guys, when we cast aLive about an hour ago, he also started off with a 2-0 and then brought it back 3-2. So I'm not going to count him out just yet. We are going to go to a commercial break, though, and we'll see you guys in 2 minutes. All right, folks, we're coming back. Also, if you're catching it on the load screen, I just want to point out the awesome Overwatch duel going on. INnoVation, Rock, and Diva's portrait, and aLive is, of course, Reaper. But,
I like Reaper's okay.
That's a black screen. That's not good.
Oh, well, hopefully it gets fixed.
There we go.
I really wish that companies would stop using portraits, because this happens on like Xbox Live and PSN, right? I don't like the 3D models. Like 99% of the time, I much prefer like the concept art being the portraits.
Oh, I agree with you on this. Yeah.
I don't know why they don't do it. It's really sad. Oh well.
I feel like it's like when 3D animation was first figured out, and everyone was trying to push out every show possible. So you had some things were good, like Reboot, but then a lot of really terrible shows that also went with it. They're all just trying to like capitalize on the trend, man.
obviously, as someone who's literally studied and majored into animation, I can't hate it, but I really hate that it became. This is more towards film, obviously, than video games. But it became the standard. It became such a standard that for a long time, people thought that everyone hated 2D animation, and not just that the 2D films were shit. And then beyond that, if a 2D film was attempted to be made and was not a box office hit, they would again blame 2D. And it's not. 2D is still a beautiful art form, but no one wants to use it anymore because everyone's like 3D's better. 3D's
How do you
the best
feel about
shit.
stop motion, like Kubo and the two strings?
I don't like stop motion at all. I liked Kubo, but I don't like stop motion in general at all.
Kubo and two strings is amazing. I really liked it. But okay, ladies and gentlemen, game number 3 kicking off. INnoVation up 2-0 and about to win the series if he can lock down this game. It's the Blue Terran. I just said his name, so this makes the intro awkward. INnoVation.
In the bottom right, as the red Terran player, he is alive. Maybe not for long.
I know we're talking about Anime's last game, and I don't want to bring up too much back to it, but actually there's one that for me, when we talk about 2D animation, I'm always going to be thinking about Red Line. And for those who don't know what Red Line is or have never heard or seen the movie, it's like one of my favorite animes of all time. But the movie itself took like 7 or something years to make because every frame in the movie is hand-drawn. There's no like CGI, no computer animation, and it looks marvelous because of it. And I would definitely recommend, even if you're not a fan of anime, checking it out. Maybe just like the highlight clips on YouTube or something, because the animation style is just, it's so different than what you've ever seen before.
And I want to just like reaffirm, because I think you say that and some animation major's going to be like, well, old animation films were also done hand, you know, and that didn't take that long. Redline has so many special effects, it's absurd. Like, Akira being all hand-drawn is already absurd, but imagine Akira with a shinier aesthetic and 100 times more, like, explosions and flare-ups and shit like that.
I mean, there's scenes, too, where there's, like, literally thousands of people in the crowd, and you're like, what? They drew all of that?
Yeah, it's
Anyways,
pretty impressive.
That first fight went really well for aLive. A Marine killing a Reaper is not something you see too often, but Greedo definitely shot before Han, so aLive's got to run on this one. Grenade helps even up some of the fight potentially, but there's no way he wins in a gunfight, so he's hoping to just get the high ground and run the hell away from INnoVation.
Yeah, this is he has to, you know, like in these, especially if you're not sure if your opponent one-based or not. Oh, he gets some serious revenge though. That's really nice by aLive.
Very clean opening so far.
Yeah, if you lose their Reaper and they don't, it can be actually a snowball effect to a loss. But INnoVation didn't one base, not really anyways. I think he actually factory expanded maybe? Something like that, because the command center is a little bit faster, but not the fastest it can be.
But INnoVation doesn't know if aLive won base or not. He didn't actually get a scout on the command center as it started after the Reaper died, so it is a little bit worrisome, because from what the Reaper scouted, the one that went to the main and the one that followed up, is this looks like there might be a bit of dedication to an attack.
Sure. It was definitely a 1-1-1, right? So Terrans can only be on one base for so long. But it's a question of course, how aggressive does the opener get? Which aLive's not really being that aggressive. You know, he's getting a Raven right now, and he could certainly auto-turret harass, but this is really... that's really it.
Folks bring up Wallace and Gromit in regards to stop motion. Man, I loved Wallace and Gromit as a kid.
I like Chicken Run.
Chicken Run was pretty funny too, and I actually appreciated the jokes more when I grew up because I didn't know about the whole like Mel Gibson Australian things. Like the subtle jokes in there were actually pretty amazing.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, that's probably it though.
Just Wallace and Gromit for me is that moment. He's got the big grin on his face, like cheese Gromit, and he's like waving his hands around. Anyways, back on point though, aLive did take a natural base, so he's not going to fall behind INnoVation. He's a little bit behind because he's going to have to pause production for a moment to build the orbital.
Oh. Hold on. You know what the best stop motion animation was?
Go on.
Celebrity Deathmatch.
Yes! Oh my god, I forgot about Celebrity Deathmatch.
That I did like a lot.
Actually, Celebrity Deathmatch and Pingu, man, had like the same quality levels to them.
Yeah, I like that. And like I guess it's mostly films that I'm thinking of. I don't like stop motion, but all the cartoons I'm thinking of, all the stupid shit like Robot Chicken. Fuck, what it's actually called?
Yeah, it's just called Robot Chicken.
Okay, that's it. Okay, then I'm making sure. Like I'll like that one. Oh, it's like crappy animation. It's always good when it's like the stupidest of shows, like Rick and Morty. Like the fact that it looks really weird just adds to its humor.
Rick and Morty, the best way to describe it to my friends is it looks like it was all drawn with somebody's left hand.
Yeah, like they're good artists usually, and then they drew their left hand.
I love Rick and Morty though. I love the way they've been interacting with the community with this like season 3 hype too. Oh man, they've handled that quite well.
I got a little distracted, but for once in a TvT, despite aLive's opener, it's fine. They're not really doing anything. Evenly timed stim. INnoVation's a little bit ahead economy-wise because, well, you got the command center faster, but that is not really a lot to talk about.
Right, I mean, it's like I mentioned, he was going to pull ahead a couple of workers, not because he was going to kill anything, because aLive had to take a second to build the command center into the orbital. But scanning the main even, just trying to confirm what INnoVation's doing, he's seeing that production comes down. He actually sees the timing on the starport getting the reactor too, so really nice scan out of aLive. To say, I don't know if they gave him enough information to push as he starts moving out with the tanks and marines. His stim and +1 are timing out, but the medevacs are a little bit behind.
Yeah, well, this is a very awkward place in TvT where you're both pretty sure that you aren't going for a greedy third base, so you both are also acknowledging that your timings are probably similar. And when you push out, they could push out, and on different maps, it can turn into a very awkward base trade right off the bat. Or you could just have a lack of scouting and be surprised, which these guys don't. You know, there's Marines everywhere for aLive. INnoVation has the main pathway covered. A bit dangerous for the drop, but chances are aLive's not going to have an army over there. So it's fine. He's going to be scouted by the... Oh, no, he's not. He's dropping. Never mind. So, like I said, if aLive had pushed out, he could be, like, in the middle of the map right now. INnoVation could have circumvented him, but he stayed at home.
This is still going to be a little bit annoying trying to intercept the drops, but if he gets on top of this right now, they won't have to worry about dancing around in his main, so pick up one of the Marines.
INnoVation's not going to be able to do very much. I mean, this really was just to try and get a surprise attack on maybe a third base that was being built or on aLive's, you know, bad positioning. Without tanks, clearly INnoVation can't do anything.
Cleans up that wood of mine. That was going to be annoying more than dangerous, but safe than sorry.
INnoVation's trying to pull kind of far ahead thanks to that early, just like the boost in economy.
Oh, I'm gonna bring this back to the 3D or the stop motion talk for a second. I don't know if you ever played this, but this is more of a reaching thing. Not a lot of people played this game, but did you ever play the Neverhood? Yeah, if anyone in chat played the Neverhood, that was actually probably my first introduction to claymation, and that was also probably one of my most favorite games growing up. It was weird, it was funny. Anyways, the attack's going to commence. Lots of tanks out here for aLive, gives him a certain advantage if INnoVation pushes into him, but INnoVation has brought a lot of his own tanks too. Both places are pretty much full energy on the Ravens. There's a lot of auto turrets that might go down. Point defense drones might even be good. I don't even know. Secret missiles, question mark? But this is a hard position because, as we can see, INnoVation's in range to shoot even the refinery, I think. If he had air vision of it, of course, but a little bit awkward. So aLive just going to play a bit safe, and so is INnoVation.
Yeah.
I really would love to see secret missiles come back, but for those who don't know, like the energy increase was up to 125, so you can only do one per Raven, and you got to wait a while.
Yeah. But INnoVation, you know, might not be pushing in or winning the game right now. He is taking advantages and getting a third base.
I'm kind of wincing for a moment there because he left his tanks alone and completely unprotected, and aLive gets scanned. He's got to know the attack's coming. The scan's the biggest indicator of the auto turrets come down. The Ravens, I think, were trying to sneak around, so aLive retreats back into his natural base, and he's rushing back to try and get his own auto turret defense down. His tanks siege up a little bit late, but this was such a chaotic moment of aLive almost losing the game.
Yeah. Well, he's still losing because he's falling very far behind in the third base, and he did take a bit of army damage, so he's down 30 army supply as well. The Liberators kind of helped save his life there, and INnoVation did have to back away from that because he has no Vikings. But he's got the third base done. He's going to have faster upgrades with the armory already done as well. And aLive, he's going to be forced into a base trade potential, or a doom drop at the very least, to pull INnoVation back. Oh, well, speaking of.
Oh, that won't work, though. Marines were nicely positioned for that.
Very dangerous stuff. Oh
my God!
How?
They both live. I mean, these Ravens have so much energy on them. They're so incredibly valuable right now. losing them would be not just expensive in terms of what they cost, but he's got a lot of potential auto turrets through them. I love the idea of these Liberators, by the way, but as we can see, they're only going to help push back slightly. INnoVation never really went for the Viking control through the sky, so he can't really push into those, but oh, aLive, why?
Yeah, and the tanks aren't siege, he's going to snipe the Liberators, totally worth.
Oh, the Raven's just going to fly in too. aLive's starting to fall apart. He's losing it.
You can't blame him for thinking that INnoVation wouldn't dedicate to that. He didn't have any tanks helping him. aLive did. INnoVation just took the chance and took out all of aLive's tanks. Well, except 2, but that's not very helpful. Gosh, INnoVation. aLive, I think, even beat INnoVation last time they played. At the very least, they went all 5 games. For INnoVation to 3-0 aLive would be quite shocking.
It is, and I mean, it's kind of the direction this is heading. What I'm most worried about for aLive is he's been contained to 2 bases, and he's not going to be able to reach out for that 3rd anytime soon. He's lifting the command center, and this is wishful thinking, I guess you could say, but INnoVation's already been mining off of a 3rd, and it's been set up, and oh, wait, SCVs are slacking. Just following. It's awkward.
Just follow him. They'll look the same, guys. Well, he's going to try and defend his 3rd base because he absolutely needs it, but he doesn't have the siege power.
He tries to break the left side, but INnoVation's auto turrets and Marines buy the buffer that the tanks needed, so INnoVation breaks aLive on 2 fronts. Super GG, as INnoVation will take the series 3-0 and be January's monthly champion for the Olimoleague.
All right. It's looking, I guess.
I mean, again, coming into this, I said it tentatively, but I still agree with you. Like, I thought aLive was going to be the underdog for sure, and it kind of showed through at the end. But I also didn't expect INnoVation to play as well as he did. Like, I could see INnoVation playing a 3-0, but those were very one-sided games. That wasn't like a very tight series like the semifinals were, for example.
Yeah, aLive just kind of got behind and then further behind.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Well, congratulations to INnoVation, but again, aLive's going to be walking away with $200 today, so condolences with air quotes to him. INnoVation walks away with $350 for the first place prize, which is also quite nice. So congratulations. But that will wrap up the Olimoleague today. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. As said, I'm not going to be here tomorrow, but we will be back tomorrow with the Ting Korean qualifiers. The second set of Korean qualifiers, actually, to determine the last 2 players getting through the Korean groups. However, we're going to go to commercial break, come back and say our goodbyes, and we'll see you guys in a few minutes. Okay, we're back, and guess what, guys? The stream's not actually over.
Oh,
Hype! Turns out it was the best of 7 all along. So, to explain really quick, because this was a simple mistake, ever since Twitch got involved with the VSL studios and all this, we had a lot of changes happen to the Olimoleague, and a lot of changes that I wasn't super thrilled about, whatever, but we ended up just getting used to and accustomed to them. So one of the big ones was they cut the monthly finals down from a best of 7 to a best of 5 for like the last half of a year. So I was not aware that they had changed that back. So that's my bad. That's my bad. That being said, though, as we get into game number 4, it is still 3-0 for INnoVation, where every game for INnoVation has been very much a win for INnoVation in a one-sided manner. So aLive is going to have to really, really dig deep if he wants to bring this back.
Yeah. I think we weren't the only ones that were a bit behind. Wikipedia, of course, so has to get updated, I guess. Best of 5, 4-0. Maybe. Let's see what aLive can do. What? We haven't played 5 games yet. That's right. So that also means you go back to having the rules where if it does go to game 6, then we have repeat maps.
That's right. Yeah, because the Olimoleague only has 5 of the 7 maps from every ladder map pool. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna stretch real quick and apologize once again for the confusion. But as we get into the game, in the top right side of the map, we've got the light blue Terran aLive, who is still on his last life.
In the bottom right, as the red Terran, he is INnoVation.
I mean, far be it for me, again, guys, to make mistakes like this, and my apologies, but I'm not going to be too sad about getting some bonus games out of these 2. I just feel bad because I had the wrong best of on the overlay for the first 3.
Yeah, well, it would have been worse if we said our goodbyes and we're like, okay, peace.
Streams offline. Yeah, well, actually, it was funny because we were talking about, like, well, we're on the commercial break. I'm like, this was such a short cast. Do you want to just do co-op? And Zombie like, sure. So, I mean, I would be very happy if aLive gave us some more games and this actually went to like game 6 or something. But again, game number 4, this is match point. And INnoVation, I gotta say, like, again, every game leading up to this, he's convinced me that it's his game, it's his series, that he's gonna be the champion, etc.
Right. I don't see that really changing here, but there's a possibility. I mean, aLive was about a comeback today in the semifinals, and he started to come back in a best of 7. Well, that's pretty impressive. So we'll see if that can actually happen. You need to have his mid-game, most early and mid-game just go better for him, because so far they've been going good for INnoVation.
Have they, or have they been going well for INnoVation?
Good. He does good moral things.
Alright, well, anyways, INnoVation, double Ravens, that's what I'm expecting, but maybe a Banshee to open. It is Whirlwind after all, and you've got that kind of element of not getting scouted, or rather the likelihood of not getting scouted, but aLive's going to get lucky on that first scout, and you'll see with that Reaper what INnoVation's up to.
Well, it is, yeah, 1 base versus 1. And they, interestingly enough, went both for Hellions. As I said, I was saying last time that aLive, I think, opened up with this, that it's kind of phasing out as Cyclone just become the better option. They come out in time as well if you even wait, I guess, for the Hellion first. But Cyclone, Banshee, not much is going to happen with these ground units. But something could happen with the Banshee from INnoVation. It did help him in that Daybreak game, I believe it was, and he even gets INnoVation gets a really nice scout.
That was an unexpectedly good Hellion. I mean, clearing up the Reaper was kind of nice, because actually, if done correctly, I think Reapers are better than Hellions in most cases, but then continuing across the map, just, I don't even know what just happened there. Maybe aLive thought this was best of 5 too, and he's like, all jelly and not sure what to do for this final game.
Maybe. Well, he should have the defenses for the Banshee, but that's, same thing could be said for that Daybreak game. Difference is, on Daybreak, he was moving out his entire army. That's why he tried to depend on Missile Turret and didn't quite work out. Here, he just needs a scan. Well, not even, he's Raven. He just needs his units in position. Let's see. The Banshee can still get maybe 4 or 5 SCV kills, and possibly still even survive. And maybe going for a second Banshee, though, is what's kind of weird. This is very, old. It's in, a month ago. So.
The first one's going to get some kills on that SCV. I feel really bad, though. Look at that viewership drop. Everyone thought this was over.
Yeah, I'd say.
I blame Olimoleague. She's too busy hacking my brain, guys. She's done with Twitch accounts, and she's just hacking my brain so I wouldn't be thinking right.
Clearly. She can do that. INnoVation still delaying all their starport production. Is getting a Raven now. The second Banshee. That's a lot of gas put into, well, not Sim, basically. But this also gives them the chance to, duck and dodge and weave and actually get some damage done, as aLive doesn't have too many anti-air units. And they did only expect the 1 Banshee, so we didn't bother having these in position.
And this is just racking up the kills. I mean, when you get ahead in TvT early on, it's really nice. A couple of SCVs killed here and there is usually recoverable, but down by 9 plus the one he killed earlier, so 10 in total.
Dang. Oof. He did kill both Banshees, to his credit, but INnoVation is even going for double Raven, so still delaying his stim. That's the one hope of aLive right here, is that maybe he gets a really good drop into the main base that INnoVation can barely not respond to in time. Stim is certainly good, and he has it for an extra 30-40 seconds, but can he actually hit that timing?
It's a good question, because the other part of this that's kind of neat, I guess, in terms of the way TvT interacts now, is you might have stim, but if you've only got 8 to 12 Marines, you're not stimming in and killing siege tanks anytime soon. But getting to the mineral lines and catching people off guard, that's where it gets a little bit different. But as you can see, INnoVation, I think, is prepped and ready. He knows that there'll be something coming his way. Doesn't know what, but tank positioned here, and several Marines accompanying both. Not to mention when it comes to the auto turret games, they both have them.
I think INnoVation was getting ready to harass with his Raven, so that's why it was so awkward.
Well, his auto hit in the backside almost killed one of the tanks, and that would have been really nice. But now INnoVation's going to take some serious losses here in the main.
What are you doing? What? Stop it. No.
What?
INnoVation.
He's needed a way to run through, actually. I think.
No,
I think that was actually a smart move. Because if he went north, he would have went into the tank fire. So he was trying to open a pathway. It wasn't a misclick, but it was still awkward nonetheless.
I still don't know if that was worth, right?
What?
Yeah, exactly. Like, it might not have been a misclick, but...
Oh, a Raven on their side of the map managed to kill some more SCVs. And he drove off a lot of the SCVs mining, too, by the looks of it. So INnoVation takes some very serious damage, but aLive doesn't get out of this scot-free. Not yet, at least.
Oh, this is really good. Considering what INnoVation almost had for his defenses, it was very good indeed. Medevac goes down, and this tank will also go down, maybe. Oh, barely saved. Has enough to clean up the little force in the back as well, but it's killing supply depots now, which is nice.
INnoVation doesn't have stims still, so it's catching these is the problem.
About to finish up. Tank blasts away most of the Marines, and there it is finally cleaned up, but that equalized the game.
Well, at the same time, not really, though, because INnoVation is actually pretty severely supply blocked right now. So while his economy might match, he actually can't build much of anything as we see.
Yeah.
The Liberator's a nice choice, though, because you know what? aLive doesn't really have that anti-air anymore. You know, he lost the Ravens to that attack. INnoVation still has 2 different Ravens on the map, so auto turret's going to come down. Liberator's matched with this. This actually might work out better for INnoVation because aLive threw so much weight into the attack.
It might. Now, aLive does have advances elsewhere. He has much faster +1, and his combat shields have already started. So that's where INnoVation's falling a little bit behind. But his auto turret harassment, his Liberator harassment's really helping make up for the evening of workers and then the tech disadvantage he's at right now.
Then he sets up above a bunch of Stim Marines, so I don't know.
Okay, sure. He loses an arm. He loses units that could have been helpful in an army. Honestly, Liberator's not usually that helpful. But he still did the economic damage, so he's still fine. That's true.
Yeah, the worker count now favors INnoVation. We look at the graph. I mean, it's going to be all over the place because of the way they went back and forth up here. But as we can see, primarily and largely, it's been a bit more INnoVation heavy than necessarily aLive heavy.
Yeah. So aLive should not be getting too overconfident in this game. I think that was it's a real possibility considering how chaotic the main base got. But he does not have INnoVation does not have combat shields, so he should be very wary of taking Marine fights.
Yeah, I mean, it needs to be said that Marine fights can still be won without combat shields, but that's when you like catch somebody and overwhelm them with numbers. Otherwise, that 10 extra health is just too big of a difference.
INnoVation starts his +1 armor before weapons. I feel like he's on autopilot, and he missed the timing on the +1, so he just automatically started +1 armor.
Maybe he just wants to be able to take a little bit of siege tank splash. I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird. Oh, this is bad. aLive saw it coming. Oh, okay, he's slipping rings. I thought he wasn't responding at all. Oh, okay.
Okay, Zombie Grub, do you think this medevac gets out alive or dead this game?
I think it dies.
I think it gets out alive.
Okay.
Oh! Oh! Well, hey, it gets out by aLive. It gets out by aLive.
No, it's even. 3-3.
I don't know why I keep taking these bets, man. Just keep rolling the dice and they keep coming up snake eyes.
It was pretty good when the Viking stopped.
I have, by the way, I guess like what's interesting is like all these bets. Look at the timing, that was hilarious, right? I've given you the option. I'm gonna start picking the option from now.
Yeah, you probably should.
Although then I won't, because right now if I lose I can blame you, but if I pick wrong and I lose I have to blame me, and I can't I can't deal with consequences like that.
No,
all right.
No.
Oh, this is.
Oh my.
Oh,
so awkward. INnoVation, what are you doing?
Just moved out is what he's doing. This is gonna force him to a bit of a base trade. I don't think he responds in time for this.
It's half army and medevac's half not.
Well, there's that too, sure, but the fact is they just pulled everything away from his base. Badly timed for aLive, but aLive at the same time doesn't have much at home. His production's camping up in the main.
But it is more in the main than INnoVation has. Like,
yeah, and INnoVation's gonna lose.
Had units, but they got torn apart.
I'm just gonna call it. I think INnoVation's gonna lose. His production going down is like the worst part of this.
Yeah, you can't break this. Try. Maybe you can.
You can't melt these steel beams.
You could actually break this if you just drop on top of that tank or maybe just pull the tanks back up, but it's gonna come down to army versus army, and aLive's army is better, and he's still taking favorable trades here. In fact, he gets a second tank sieged up, but they kind of target one marine off to the right, so they're useless. Damn it! It's a real base trade.
He's got to make sure the command center burns. He can't deal with floating buildings.
Repair. INnoVation should definitely repair that while he can.
Command center has to burn, folks. So these barracks.
Oh my god. No! Keep moving! Okay.
It's not burning, though.
I don't think you can keep it there. I think it's just another plateau, right?
No, I think the Marines too short.
Right. Yeah, I think too short.
I mean, think about it. If they were taller, they would have more range, technically. Shooting from one foot up in the ground, right? This actually might win out for INnoVation then, like in terms of base trading.
Wait a minute. But he's taking a fight. aLive still has army in his main that's not holding.
But okay, so both players have command centers. Both players could technically at some point recover to the fact of getting anti-air out, but nobody currently has a Viking. So this barracks, you see a purple box on it?
I do.
Okay, that's weird. I don't know what that's about, but INnoVation's buildings do get caught in the middle of the map, so he's only got the command center floating. That's the only thing he has going for him. If that had burned, then aLive won this game already. But he's still possibly fighting for a draw.
aLive's playing a very dangerous game by leading 3 tanks. That kind of... it doesn't even up the army supply quite, but it takes away a very crucial part of the army supply. SC should be repairing tanks whenever they can. INnoVation, please! You have the SCVs, use them! He's gonna be sandwiched, though. I think that's gonna be it.
Comes in from the backside. aLive, can he break this?
Oh, it was pretty close. It is pretty close. Oh my god, there's still Marines actually for INnoVation on the left side. aLive actually didn't break it. Holy shit.
But here's the thing, aLive's actually able to start recovering.
What?
They're on 0 workers apiece, but the difference is there's 2 command centers and some supply depots alive. If INnoVation were to find this base right now, then it could end. INnoVation could still 4-0.
He could drop on the tanks.
Well, he doesn't have a lot to drop though. Like, can he afford to drop on the tanks?
Oh, they both have even number of medevacs. Yeah, it would be really risky. I think this is gonna be better because the tank. Yeah.
Oh, nice shots,
good.
INnoVation.
This is so good. He might lose his own tank, but he takes out 2 maybe.
Oh, the mules are repairing though, and the SCV is repairing.
This is so clutch.
INnoVation is the one that's on the ropes right now. I want to make that very clear to everybody. The army supplies are very close, and this could go a lot of different directions, but INnoVation's got no recovery potential.
Oh, he's gonna go for it. Oh my god.
Oh, this is so dangerous.
It's not working.
The tank's not in range of the other tanks.
Not working.
I think INnoVation just lost.
I think he did. Oh, that's it.
That's it. That's game. What a close TvT.
Oh, jeez.
There's nothing to drop. He's just flying and flourishing.
He has a widow mine.
Peacocking.
He's gonna try and recover. If he actually could have been doing this entire game. He was just too scared to send a command center back.
He can't. He actually has to kill some of his own medevacs because he can't build an SCV. He's supply blocked.
He's gonna have to target his widow mine on his medevac. GG.
You can't target a widow mine on your medevac. What are you talking
I know.
about?
I know. It was a joke. Like, it's useless. Like, you can't do it.
All right. Well, game number 4 goes to aLive, and this makes me very worried because I think we did payouts based on that incorrect information we had. So we need INnoVation to win so that nobody gets robbed of their part 2.
Yeah.
But okay. Next game coming up is going to be a refresh of the map pool, I think, right? That's that all 5?
This is the 5th game.
Oh, you're right, because I just said it was game 4. Yeah. So this will be the last one, and then if aLive wins this one, we'll start reusing maps.
Right. Damn. INnoVation was in the lead up until that base trade, which aLive was better prepared for.
It was really close. Like, you're right. He could have been trying to recover while that went on, too. Like, maybe with question marks. Because he lost all his depots. He never had supply to work with. But he could have at least started mining and had some money. Or I don't know. Regardless of that, though, it was so close. Like, aLive's positioning there was not at all perfect. That was something where I think INnoVation maybe started getting a little bit flustered. If he kept, like, a calmer mind about it. I think, honestly, dropping directly on top of the tanks would have actually worked, because aLive only had like 3 or 4 Marines. Not enough to snipe the medevacs down.
Yeah, I think it works too, because then he's also... The tanks of aLive don't do much damage at all, siege. But INnoVation's unsieged ones, they do a lot.
Yeah. I would love to... that's one of those games I would love to force them to somehow like recover the replay of and just see the alternate facts of the game.
Please.
But okay, the score... mostly unchanged. Still on his last life in the top right side of the map. He just took 1 game. He's got to take 3 more in a row. It's aLive.
In the top left, as the blue Terran, he is INnoVation.
These bonus games for the Olimoleague are pretty sweet. And by the way, I just want to point out that last game we just had would never have happened if this was a best of 5. And that's why I was really sad. Like when the Olimoleague went from best of 7s to best of 5s, it was totally understandable. You know, you had real studio involved, you had people and others that were like working around all these different schedules. A best of 5 finals made sense logistically. But I was sad because I've always loved our bigger finals we have with a lot of BaseTradeTV related events. And of course, Ting we do the best of 9s with. The best of 7 Olimoleague finals just gave us like such a sick game. Like, I'm so convinced that you should have the bigger best ofs whenever possible. So even if this isn't going to be like permanently back to the way it was and it's only like temporary, I don't even care. I'm just glad that we got best of 7s again.
Yep. You could argue though in the best of 7 that the 8th game wouldn't have happened, and then what would Nation Wars look like, man? What would Ting look like?
Actually, best ofs can always be weird though, because we did have 5 games in a best of 3 just last week with Kelzer and Scarlet.
Yeah, that sucked. So, opening up with 2 gases for both of them, which is how they started out last game too. Just slightly different units coming out of the structures. Yeah, double checking.
Actually,
aLive ended up getting faster stim, but INnoVation ended up doing a lot more damage.
Well, just thinking that last game too, those Banshees got a considerable amount of kills. Not normally that many. And I don't know if they'll try and pull it off again, but for me that just screams confidence out of INnoVation to go for something like a Banshee.
Sure, yeah. It was really weird to see him go for 2 Banshees and then 2 Ravens, though. Like, that's a lot of delay on other gas units. He's gonna add a Cyclone in this time, which I think he was the one that went for a Hellion, and he got that really nice scout. Which he could get. INnoVation looking for the kill on the Reaper. He's gonna get it. It's trapped.
Nice.
Kind of worth it, because he also got the scout. Yeah, it was worth.
Yeah, he saw no tech lab being rushed out of the factory, which was a pretty big deal.
Viking on the way, followed by a Raven, I would expect. INnoVation does Tango in the middle of the map. With, I guess, the Hellion.
By the way, another bets were paid out maliciously wrongly because we hate all of you, but I just looked at them and I didn't realize there's actually more bets on aLive than there were for INnoVation in the series, just as an FYI.
People believe in the power of aLive.
I do too. You know what? This actually makes more sense now, because we thought like, oh, he'd go down 3 games then come back, but that was one of these, or 2 games and then come back. That's under the assumption it was a best of 5. Best of 7 though goes down 3 games then comes back. Makes more sense.
Exactly.
If only we had the information that aLive had in going into the series.
INnoVation might be caught with his pants down a little bit. These units are all on this side of the map.
Yeah, this Widow Mine's not going to do too much, but it will do a nice amount of splash. Although that Hellion is 1 health. How does that work?
Like 6 SCVs went down in combo with the Hellion splash.
However, other side of the map, I think Cyclones and a Viking is also quite a bit of damage, as we can see.
Whoa, and aLive just built a command zone and canceled it. That's actually a lot of money. It didn't have to technically be canceled, but he thought he needed money.
Both players going chaotic. This Cyclone lived with 5 health, by the way. That's to say the Cyclone's also going to live. Oh, no, it doesn't.
Why did you help your buddy? Oh, my God.
One of mine hits the Raven. That's kind of nasty, but this game gets topsy-turvy, and aLive's left with 9 SCVs. If he can't return that damage through this medevac, he might as well be out of the game, because INnoVation's already got a command center finishing up as we speak.
Oh yeah, this game is probably over because of that. Like that's too much. It's so silly.
Oh look!
I really thought that aLive was gonna get the better end, but he just had nothing at home.
It's your caster brother from another mother.
Hey, it's Todd. 613 sub. The Roddy sub emote.
Ugh. Ugh. Actually, I woke up yesterday to a really awesome game. Roddy beat Nate, but it was like I just tuned in perfectly to both streams, and they happened to be playing each other. It was really awesome.
Cool.
But okay, this this is so bad for life. He's playing the recovery out. I mean, it's. I think he's fully aware where he's at in the game. No, he's not. He never saw the natural base. He has no idea he's an entire command center behind.
Yeah, and that is such a weird game. He might actually think he did damage fast enough to stop INnoVation from even starting it. Like what happened to him. Which, again, aLive, I'm not sure how to cancel his command center. But he did anyway.
That may have been a mineral thing for him, though. Like, he thought, oh, I really can't afford this right now.
Yeah, I thought so, too. And then I thought I checked, and it wasn't. So it felt more like he thought he did, but it wasn't actually the case.
Double Ravens are going to be more than enough. Auto turrets do so much damage, even to the Marines, even to the tanks. It doesn't matter what they're hitting. As we can see, no problem breaking this. A couple SCVs get pulled into us, and maybe a little bit of problems, but ultimately, GG's. There we go. Now INnoVation actually wins. And before Olivia tells us this was actually a best of 9. No, I'm convinced it's the best of 7 at this point, because we've talked to her. So now I can say INnoVation is your January champion. Payouts were done correctly, and nobody is any the wiser. Nice. But thank you, Chaos Master X21. 25 months. This best of 7 is the best. I agree. But that's going to actually wrap things up this time around. Like, whew. But Zombrab and I are going to probably... Do you still want to take a stab at co-op? We got an hour to kill before that thing, right?
Yeah. I'm hungry, though.
All right. Well, why don't you grab some food in like 15 minutes? We'll do co-op, and then... Sound good?
Okay.
All right, so guys, when Zomgrab goes to grab food, here's what's going to go down. We're going to play the co-op mission before it disappears because we never got to this week. I mean, I've beaten out of both Korea and North America, but we never actually got to stream it or anything. So we'll play the co-op mission, and then we're going to go. So if you guys want to stick around and watch and hang out, I would certainly appreciate it. But if you also are going to take off, I hope you have a wonderful day. Make sure to come back tomorrow at 3 a.m. Pacific. Zombie Rob, and have you announced who it is publicly, or are we waiting to do that, or I don't know?
Oh, no, we can talk about it. You mean I'm casting with Maynard?
Okay, yeah. Maynard's gonna be coming on tomorrow to basically cast with Zombie Grub, I guess, cover my ass for not being there, and that'll be some good time. So again, 3 a.m. Pacific tomorrow, tinkering qualifiers, double elimination, and let's hope for not 2 Terrans. But you go get your food stuff, and I'm just gonna kill time for a bit while you do that.
Okay.
I will play some commercials, so when we get back, we'll just do some chitty chat, guys. But like I said, co-op is what's on the menu. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in a few minutes.